I have a question for you guys today. Between fame and legacy, which way would you go? Which way should an artist go? So let's just start with some definitions. What is fame? Fame is basically, I'm this guy, everybody knows my name, I'm famous, my name is all up in lights, everyone wants autographs and selfies with me, blah, blah, blah. That's fame. Legacy, on the other hand, has a lot to do with inheritance. It has a lot to do with influencing generations, future generations. Now, an artist who is fame-oriented, is an artist who, according to him or her, the way they think is, everybody knows me, I'm famous, everybody knows me. As in, fame is just enough for them. The fact that everybody knows them, and when they go to places, everyone wants to take selfies, and everyone wants complimentaries, and blah, 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 that's enough for them. A legacy-oriented artist understands one thing, that fame is like a face. It comes and goes. Today you're famous, tomorrow you're not famous. Allow me to use the sonship concept. A legacy-oriented artist sees things like this in the context of a son. So a son receives an inheritance from the dad, right? Then he takes his own inheritance. He combines, let me use the word capacity. I feel it's more potent. A son receives capacity from the dad. He combines the capacity that the father has passed on to him together with his own capacity. So now he's working in double capacity. So now the double capacity he has, he passes it forward to the son below him. And the cycle continues like that and like that. That's how legacy operates. Legacy is basically passing forward what was passed on to you. Legacy is basically influencing and imparting the future generations that will even exist after you. I don't know if you guys have noticed one thing, that as artists, we have a very short window span of relevance. It's like a time comes in an artist or a creative's life where it's like the world just pours, or heavens, and it's like there's just an overwhelming amount of favor that is directed towards you, and you become really relevant for that short period of time. Now, what you decide to do with that short period of time will determine whether you'll be an artist who will be in the books of history as one who had a legacy, or whether you'll just be another artist who came and their time passed and you faded away into oblivion just like that. So my question to you is this, as an artist, when that time comes, what's your message? Because as an artist, there's something you need to stand for. When that time comes, when that moment of relevance comes, when that short window span of relevance comes, what is it that you're going to stand for? What is your message going to be? What is that one thing that you're going to do or speak or say that will echo throughout eternity, that generations after you, they'll still be talking about you and what you did and all that? So that's my challenge to us as artists. Let's be more legacy-oriented. Yes, fame is good. There's nothing wrong with fame, by the way. I know there's usually bad rep surrounding fame. There's nothing bad with fame. It's what you do with it. I'm usually fascinated by the Renaissance painters, the Renaissance artists. Some people call them Renaissance, but I am a Kenyan, so I will say Renaissance. I'm usually fascinated by the Renaissance artists and how they used to do their paintings. I mean, 500 years later, we are still talking about these guys and how their paintings are selling for millions and all that. And if you look at what was happening during the Renaissance period, I want to get into the details, but what was happening during the Renaissance period, there was a lot of political shifts happening. There was a lot of religious shifting happening. There was a lot of social, medical, scientific. There was a lot of shift. Basically, society as we know it was just undergoing transformation. And I think the reason that their paintings or their art, because we're even talking about the Mozarts and the Vivaldis, the reason that their art had so much impact that even today we are talking about them as though they were the lords of art, is because they used art at such a sensitive moment in history to speak. They used it to address. They used it to make an impact. They used it to stand for something. Because if you look at the Renaissance paintings, they are not just there for aesthetic values. If you go deeper, especially when you look at them in terms of, let's say we are talking about Caravaggio or Michelangelo, if you look at the paintings that he did in his entire lifetime, you realize that each painter sort of had a message. They sort of had something they are trying to communicate. And I think that's what legacy is all about. When your moment to when your moment to shine comes, what will you do about it? Or rather, what will you do with it? You don't have to be famous to have a legacy. I think that's also something we need to debunk. You can be famous, but you have no legacy. You can also have a legacy, but you are not famous. But I know how the creative industry works. So my hope is that may we embrace both. May we have the best of both worlds. So yeah. The painting behind me is by one of my students. He's called Kimani, really good, really talented young guy. Actually, he's one of the twins. They are twins, and they are both. I've never come across twins who are really both talented artistically at the same capacity. So watch out for the brother. I'm also going to be having part of his artwork here. So yeah, you can find more, and you can find his work and more other stuff at the social media websites just at the end of this video. And you know how we do: like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about fame versus legacy. And yeah, see you next week, guys.